Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Now that my two obligatory informative videos are done for the day, it's time to talk about current events in the online fitness community. And I came across something on social media today, and I'm just going to flip it in here. Damn. So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. You know, this is stuff like this that you have to look at in awe at the sheer audacity. I mean, this takes snake oil to a whole nother level. Now, that's not even true, because you guys remember the snake oil, and I call supplement salesmen snake oil salesmen oftentimes, but we have the snake diet guy, and this is kind of going back to what the original snake oil was, right? They used to come around and sell this mineral oil and claim that it cured all these different ailments and illnesses. And this guy has built an enormous following. I know he's got over 60,000 YouTube followers, but I think like his snake diet motivation group has close to 200,000 members, right? And the guy is now claiming that he thinks his diet can cure HIV or AIDS. I mean, how does he even sleep at night? You know, you got to wonder that. How does this guy even sleep at night? And then I got to wonder about the people who follow this and support this. Look, I get a lot of people who say, I can't believe anyone follows Jason, after a lot of the things that I get accused of are actually off the mark, or they're not even true accusations. I mean, what I say on this channel is what I say on this channel. But I mean, to compare that to something like this, where this guy has claimed previously, I believe he's made claims that his diet can cure cancer, and now he's talking about using it to treat HIV and AIDS. The sheer audacity of it. I'm not even going to say insanity, because there's no way that this guy actually believes this. There is no way that he actually believes this is true. This guy is clearly a charlatan with this. But I mean, you need to think about it just fundamentally. What is his snake diet? It's long periods of fasting where you drink salt water. You drink salt water on prolonged fast. Now, when we step back and look at what AIDS actually is, it ends up being a wasting disease, because your immune system is compromised, it's destroyed. You catch all these various diseases and they cause muscle wasting and all these other issues. I mean, in what world is it even remotely imaginable? I mean, in what world is even remotely imaginable to where prolonged fasting and taking in no calories and no protein is going to help with a muscle wasting disease? That people die because a big part of it is they lose large amounts of body weight, large amounts of muscle mass. What's one of the most successful treatments for AIDS? They're prescribed large doses of anabolic steroids, right? That's one of the most successful treatments. Why? Because it stops the muscle wasting aspect of it. And if they can stop the muscle wasting, these people tend to live longer. Essentially trying to do prolonged fast for people with a disease like this where their immune system is compromised. Because let's be honest here, guys, prolonged caloric restriction can hurt your immune system as well. All right, it's not going to cure anything. It's not going to cure allergies. It's not going to cure a cold or any of this other stuff that people try to talk about this nonsense. That's not how this works. In fact, rapid weight loss itself, if done too quickly, can make you sick. It lowers your immune system. I mean, I've been there. I've done that. I lost a bunch of weight one time when I was much, much younger. I ended up getting really sick and a respiratory infection and everything else after I'd lost weight too quickly. That's oftentimes happened. So, you know, you have this prolonged fasting, and for people with a compromised immune system, that could potentially make it worse. But the worst part is going to be weight loss, fat loss. I mean, if you're going 24 hours or more at a time without consuming any calories or protein, and you have a disease that is going to contribute to muscle wasting, and that's one of the leading causes of death of this deadly disease, to have people fast for prolonged periods of time to think that this is some sort of solution is absolutely ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. And then the worst part, again, let's talk about immune system. Yes, people do low carb diet, ketogenic diets. Well, we know that when carbs go too low, even if calories are high, that can compromise immune system. A reasonable carb intake is actually necessary for immune system function. Ketogenic diets aren't even particularly healthy. Granted, they have their treatment for certain ailments. Look, for epilepsy, for certain types of GI tract issues. There are certain medical issues like that ketogenic diets can help, but overall they are not healthy. And so he's combined prolonged extreme fasting, ketogenic diets. And I mean, having someone with AIDS, full-blown AIDS, do some silly stuff like this is potentially a death sentence. This is dangerous, it's reckless, and this is a guy just cashing in with his nonsense in a way that could actually cause harm. That's my concern, and that needs to be called out here. I mean, it's one thing if it was innocent and there can't be any harm done. I mean, a lot of times you would take someone like this, if he's talking about this snake diet and he gets people who are silly enough to follow him, I'm going to laugh at him and say, all right, guys, you guys want to follow this nonsense, knock yourself out. You guys want to do 24-hour, 48-hour fast, drinking nothing but salt water. That's fine. If you want to follow this silly crap, do whatever you want to do. But don't complain when you start losing muscle mass and all these other problems. But that would be one thing, and we could just make fun of those people. But when people are actively following someone who they know is giving advice that could cause harm, that could actually kill people who have already dangerous medical issues, I mean, it's the same thing when he talks about using it to treat cancer. Are you serious? Again, we're dealing with cancer and muscle wasting, and yeah, I understand that there was data looking at ketogenic diets and cancer. There was data out there looking at that for certain reasons, but it was found to not be effective, right? It's been looked at, and what we've learned is that fat cells can feed off of ketones. So if you're eating a really high-fat diet, cancer cells can still feed off of that. They can feed off ketone bodies. So it's not even a solution to do that, because the whole idea is lower circulating insulin, lower circulating glucose. You could starve the cancer. Well, again, the problem we run into comes into the muscle wasting and everything else. These prolonged fasts are potentially problematic here. There's a lot of things we can do with cancer as far as diet, nutrition, exercise that can help reduce this stuff. But these prolonged fasts are not on the list because, again, we're running into the problem of potential muscle wasting. We're running into the issue of weight loss that's unhealthy for people who have diseases where the actual weight loss, the rapid weight loss and the muscle wasting contributes to the death toll. Like, it's the exact opposite of what anyone needs to be doing. And the scary part is that he can come out and say stuff like this and actually have people who support it. That's the shocking part. I mean, I can understand if people say, well, I mean, my allergies seem to get better when I did it, and so do these other people. I mean, that's not necessarily proof of anything. Or I lost a bunch of weight. Well, yeah, you're doing prolonged fast, drinking salt water and not eating any food. Of course you're losing weight. You're in a caloric deficit. You're in a very large caloric deficit for different parts of the week. Calories in, calories out. That is what causes fat loss. That's what causes weight loss. This isn't a point of debate in science. It's universally accepted. You're creating a large caloric deficit on certain days of the week. Of course you're losing weight. What would you expect to happen? Your body can't create energy out of nothing. It has to burn fuel. It has to have its basic metabolic processes. Your body needs energy to survive. And if you're giving it nothing, you're giving it zero, of course it's going to tap into your fat, but it's also going to tap into your muscle. So there's a lot of problems here. And the other thing is that we start dealing with possible electrolyte imbalances and everything else with some of the stuff he's recommending. This could cause serious harm to people. You know, there are risks. A diet like that, if you wanted to do it even as a fad diet, that is not something you should undertake without consulting a medical doctor first, right? You shouldn't be doing something like going, I'm going to do 24-hour fast or 2-day fast on just salt water and then follow a low-carb diet with it. You need to be monitored by a medical professional if you're going to undertake something like that. You don't just do it randomly because of some yahoo on the internet. But he's got people doing this, and that's going to hurt people by itself. But then to talk about stuff like cancer and AIDS and to act like it's a potential cure, this could hurt people. This could kill people. And I've really got to look at the people who follow this guy who is actively promoting something like this that could cause real harm. It's not just about ripping people off. It's not just about tricking people at this point. We're talking about real potential for harm. And it's just absolutely disgusting. And I've really got to wonder, again, the people who are going to show up and support him here are like, I did this and that on this diet. And it did this for me. Because when I called him out before, all these defenders came up. And they're like, oh, you should do that diet. Like, no, thanks, guys. I'm good. I'm cutting fine, eating plenty of food every day. And I'm dropping a couple pounds a week and have been for a while. I'm down 46 pounds now. I'm cutting just fine. I don't need his diet. I'm maintaining strength and muscle. But they come in, and then you've got to wonder if, like, how can you continue to support someone who is actively promoting that his silly fad diet could actually help with cancer or help with AIDS? And I mean, the fact that he would even jump up and say that is downright scary. And I think the person who I saw share it originally there was Dr. Mike Israetel, who I'm pretty sure he is appalled, absolutely appalled, as himself a professional who has a PhD and it has a biology background and everything else, that to see someone promoting this is unbelievable. It's just absolutely unbelievable. And I'm just in shock that this guy can come up and say something like this, and his own followers aren't stepping up saying, Cole, not just no, but hell no. Hey man, I appreciate I lost weight or whatever on your diet, but this is dangerous. This is stupid. What are you trying to do here? So it makes you wonder at that point, how deluded are the people following this guy? That they're willing to accept that. And it's not one thing. It would be different if it was just a rumor, right? There's rumors and silliness and other things, but to just publicly come out and pretend like your diet, which is a starvation diet, is going to help with a muscle wasting disease like AIDS, and for people to continue to follow that and not at least call him out, because hell, even my own followers who like what I do call me out when they think I do something wrong, right? Because that's what people do. You talk about a blind cult-like following. If every one of his followers doesn't call him out on this right now, we know that we are dealing with some ludicrous, insane people who are beyond gullible. I just don't know what else to say about it. It's just crazy. This is just crazy. And I really and truly am shocked that he's standing up saying this, and all of his followers aren't coming forward saying, okay, Cole, enough is enough, man. No, you don't need to be promoting this. Again, it just blows my mind. And if I've either got to look at the guy and say, man, you're either a total charlatan or you have to be crazy. You have to be insane. Really, man? Wow. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.